Dark Souls 1 is finished for the bow only run. Guess it's time for the second one. I will step into the world of Dragon Lake and try to replicate the success I had in the first game. I'm Chris from Northern Geek Life, and this is a Dark Souls 2 bow only run. But before I start, let's go over the rules. The first rule is the most simple one. All damage I do must come from a bow. That's the point of the whole challenge, really. Secondly, I must attempt to kill all bosses, including all the DLC bosses. I will try to kill them all, but the main objective is to finish the game. And last of all, no glitches. I can use cheese methods as much as I want, but I can't use any glitches to win fights or finish the game. Having said that, let's dive into the run. I quickly decide on the name of the only person who could follow up the mighty Hawkeye from Dark Souls 1. Hawkeye the Second. Can you sense a theme here? Yet again, there is only one class that starts with a bow. I choose the bandit out of necessity. For a starting gift, some extra healing is never a bad idea. With Hawkeye the Second equipped, it's time to dive into Dragon Lake. I quickly cheese Dragon Rider to get some free levels in. Please let the rest of the run be as easy as this. Last Giant proves to be a bit of a pushover. Sure, he does get some hits in, but he is no match for the power of archery. With some quick arrows, the giants go extinct. After the pursuer smacks me around, I decide not to pursue, see what I did there? Killing him just yet. Instead, I went down to the wharf to flex our sentry. As always, the way to get to him is more dangerous than the actual fight. With little risk, the sentry goes down and the way to the Bastille is now open to me. But first, I need to settle a matter of pride. Pursuer. I spend my souls on levels and upgrades and give him another go. It takes a few tries, but in the end, he gives up to my perseverance. Pursuer is down, which opens up the second way into the Bastille. With the Bastille open, this gives me access to boss weapons and the blacksmith. Now the blacksmith is the most important part of this run, as he can upgrade all our weapons and is our main source of arrows. For this challenge at least, he becomes my new best friend. The Ruined Sentinel trio is next on my list. I tried them. Oh lord how I tried them. I took too many deaths on them, costing me tons of arrows in the process. After a while, I decided enough is enough and I went out to kill other bosses. A quick save dragon kill later, I find myself in front of Ornstein Light. Not much to say about this fight really. He hit me once, just to remind me how random Dark Souls 2 hitboxes can be. Old Dragon Slayer goes down without much of a challenge. Back to Ruined Sentinels I go. Nope. Still not happening. A pretty uneventful hour later, I come before Nashka. Keeping my distance and slowly whittling down her health has worked on other bosses, so why not on her as well? Scorpion goes down after a couple of minutes. This leads me to Doors of Pharos and the Royal Red Authority. And what a fight that one is! Multiple targets closing distance fast. Bleed status build up. Toxic status build up. Yeah, multiple enemies in a boss fight is not my strong suit. I get beaten again and again and again. Right, let's not do this. Plenty of easy bosses. Magus and Congregation. I'm sorry, what? They beat me? Oh, this will not stand. I sprint back in and defeat them on my second attempt. Well, that was kind of embarrassing. Time for Ruined Sentinels again. I feel confident. I manage to bait out the attack and makes them use their shields as projectiles. Much easier to manage after that. If only I figured that one out 5 freaking hours ago. Ruined Sentinels finally go down. Thank you, RNGesus. Okay, what the hell does Dark Souls 2 have with multiple enemy boss fights? How many are that now? Far too much as far as I'm concerned. And this one has to be one of the worst of all. Small arena, big hard-hitting enemies, deadly drops on either side, potential for 4 bosses at the same time. Why Dark Souls 2? Why? Have to be honest though, I am getting better at those. But that doesn't mean any of these attempts are easy. I do manage to kill Gorgons at my second attempt, but this is after a 6-minute fight where I do more running than actual shooting, despite how much damage I'm doing to them. I'm starting to realize why nobody actually does challenge runs in Dark Souls 2. And then there is a Duke's Dear Freya. Another multi-enemy boss fight. Luckily at this point, I can one-shot little spiders. They move at a leisurely pace to create some openings. Good. A boss fight that's actually relatively easy for once, and not just a major clusterfuck. Freya goes down on the first try. Covetous Demon will always be Covetous Demon. Not much to say about that one really. Fast, clean fight. The next one up is the Headless Serpent Queen. Now she does kill me once, mainly because I forgot to equip fire arrows that do massive damage to her. The second attempt goes much better and the way to Iron Keep is now open. Smelter Demon. Boy oh boy, Smelter Demon. Weirdly telegraphed but delayed attacks in a very small room. This was worse than Ruined Sentinels. At least they had some room to run away. Luckily, I don't need to kill him to progress, so let's leave him for now. Guess it's time for another multi-enemy boss fight. The Royal Red Vanguards. I feel like swearing again. I can't one-shot small reds. Okay, cool, not a problem. 2 arrows is fine. So long as I can target and hit the actual boss. Oh, I can't? Other reds keep running in front of my arrows? Okay. Guess this will take me a little longer. And it does. 5 freaking minutes against Vanguard. At least it died and I didn't. Well, would you look at that? An actual boss fight? Without the need for some special mechanic? Or a dozen extra mobs running around? Just dodge when needed, create some distance, and shoot when able? I never thought I'd see the day in Dark Souls 2. Thanks for the memories, Rotten. Let's get back and clean up the Royal Red Authority. With me now being able to one-shot his little minions, the fight is one-on-one now. This wannabe Sith didn't stand a chance. Let's check out the DLC. Okay, let's not check out the DLC. Doesn't look like I'm ready for this. Old Iron King it is. I die a couple of times due to bad positioning, but in the end I do manage to kill him. Another primal bonfire down. Off to Drang Lake Castle I go. Dragon Riders. Another multi-enemy boss in a small arena. Because why not at this point? At least they aren't the strongest ones around. When his melee friend dies, the archer follows quickly. Who's next? You all know how this one goes. To get the elevator working, I kill a guy in what is possibly the worst employment plan ever. The My Little Pony in the hallway goes down too. And all just to get here. Looking Glass Knight. Now I expected more from this fight. He has magic attacks, a giant shield, and he can summon in phantoms. But honestly, it was a bit of a pushover. In just 2 tries, LGK goes down. Everyone's favorite place. Shrine of Amana. This place. Man, this freaking place. Well, at least usually. Today, not so much. I cracked the secret of the shrine. Just go in with a bow build. Only thing giving me issues was the invader. But I get past him and find the Demon of Song. And what can I say about that one? Wait till the foreskin opens, fire arrow, rinse and repeat. Done. The underground graves prove a different challenge. Arrows don't break the statues or the graves. Hard to navigate that way. Luckily, there is such a thing as a great bow. Great arrows prove to be worthy of the task of breaking my way free. And with that, I make my way to Velstadt. But Velstadt and the infamous Dark Souls 2 hitboxes proved to be too much for me. I give it a few valiant efforts, but I'm forced to admit defeat. Right, time to get out of here to grow stronger. And where better to do that than the DLC? Room's Tower of Flame. What a lovely place. Could use a good dusting though. At the bottom, I find Fume Knight. I dreaded this fight. Fume Knight is regarded to be an absolute beast. It's challenging to find the right time to heal or attack. But after a dozen tries or so, I fall into the right pattern. It takes a lot, but Fume Knight goes down. Back to Velstadt. Being a bit stronger now and having learned from Fume Knight, I take my time to find the openings. It's not a flawless battle. Far from it, in fact. But a few close calls, and a couple of minutes later, Velstadt finally stands down to let me go see the king. With the king's ring in hand, or on finger if you will, I make my way through Alia's keep. Uneventful is the word I would use, just like the boss fight at the end. The dragon flying off might prove a nuisance for melee characters, but with my trusty bow in hand, it really can't escape me. My visit to the dragon is rather uneventful as well. I get what I want from him and leave his noble presence for better destinations. No, wait! This isn't any better at all! This DLC is a real pain. The invader is ridiculous. His fire attacks really hit hard. And when I do finally manage to kill him, I'm confronted by these bricks. This is not going according to plan. Can I go do something else, please? Oh look, something else. And a nice something else at that. Giant Lord is great farming. I killed him a couple of times over the course of this run. Easy souls, happy archer. Now back to the DLC and the fight that broke me. Elena, the Squalid Queen. I'm not even joking when I say that this fight broke me. There's a video coming out of the deaths in this challenge run. This so-called queen will be featured heavily in it. This took more tries than any boss before or since. And I'm not just talking about during the challenges. Oh no. This boss in this challenge took me longer than I ever spent on any simple playthrough on Ornstein and Smough, or Artorias, or even Radagon and Elden Beast. I asked chat for help at a point, and even though they had some great ideas, and it did really help, I couldn't do it. This fight even made me break my self-imposed rule of not summoning in help. And even then, it just didn't work. Let's leave it at that for now. This is hopeless anyway. In the hope that a boss kill might give me back the will to live, I go after Smelter Demon. Hey, that worked! I finally defeated Smelter Demon. Wonderful. Who's next? Not Ava, that's for sure. Another boss I can't get past? Well, maybe not right now, but I'll be back. How about I go back to Broom Tower and see how I measure up against Sorelon? Nope. Even stronger. Hell no! This wasn't even a fight! I had 2 summons with me and it was an absolute massacre. I'm not going back anytime soon. So what I do? I farm. I farm until I can no longer kill Giant Lord within the time I have in the memory. A massive amount of souls go into my character. But will it be enough against a Squalid Queen? Nope, far from it. Against Ava? Turns out it is! That's great! I use the 2 NPC summons as cannon fodder while I try to stay back on fire arrows. It's still a hard fight, but I get the pet down in the end. What a relief! It was at this point that I had enough. I reached my breaking point many hours ago already. I just wanted this to be over. So, I made my way to the Throne of Wands to finish it. Throne Defender and Watcher's only difficulty was the fact that I had to kill them in short succession. Damage-wise, they could still hurt me, but I hurt them more. As well I should. At that point I was over level 200. All that farming had really paid off. I made some mistakes in the fight, but I got them down. And after all the cursing, the crying, and the anger, I got to Nashandra. Underwhelming. I knew it wouldn't be the hardest boss of the game, but even so it was easier than I had thought. Keep distance and keep shooting. Done. Now give me my throne. But I wasn't done. With Nashandra's soul, I get the Bow of Wands and upgrade it fully. After that, I respec, so I have the best possible DPS I can without compromising my health or my stamina. And all of that for one thing. The only thing that mattered to me at that time. Revenge. I had been humiliated, shamed, broken, and left by the wayside by this one boss. No more. I rose up again. I pulled myself together. I went all in for a final attempt. For what is the value of life if a man could not do that? What value does it have when a man is broken and refuses to rise? So I said no. I would not let the challenge be soured by the memory of this once queen. I never looked beyond the next arrow. I knew that one mistake would end it all again. But I believed. And arrow after arrow, that belief grew. Arrow after arrow, her health fell. Arrow after arrow, one of her minions fell. Until at the end, it was only me and her in that room. It was the end. She knew it. I knew it. Finally, vengeance was mine. So, in conclusion, can Dark Souls 2 be beaten with a bow? Yes. Can all the bosses be beaten with a bow? Well, maybe a better player than me could kill them all, but I couldn't. I haven't even gone to the Blue Smelter Demon. It just scared me too much. I did try the Burnt Ivory King once, but I quickly saw that it would probably take me longer than Alana. This challenge was grueling. Now, I never was a big fan of Dark Souls 2, and this challenge has definitely not changed that. That's not to say I didn't enjoy parts of it, but a lot of the boss fights, as I said earlier in the video, too many multiple enemies in a single small room. At least too many for an archer, but I know from experience, melee builds aren't doing that good in that kind of fight either. So at the end of the challenge, I just have one final piece of advice for you, my dear viewer. If you value your sanity, do not attempt this. Now let's quickly get over the whole YouTube standard stuff. Please like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share this video with your friends because it does help us grow. I've been Chris from Northern Geek Life. Goodbye, my friends.